welcome, it's great to see you. Today we are working with some fun dies from Temu. So this ice cream and then this fun little shaker lollipop as well. I actually got these in a recent Temu haul, so I'll have that linked down below for you. I'm just taking them apart with my pliers. I find this the best way to get rid of that little extra metal bit. Otherwise it makes marks on your paper, which annoys me. So a top tip for getting these apart is definitely to use some pliers. Using my Gemini Mini to cut these out. I love this machine. It gets so much more use than my big die cutter ever did. The little folders are, I want to say like 3 by 8 inches, something like that. And they fit most of my embellishment size dies in them, which is pretty perfect for me. So I'm just cutting the cones out on some sort of beige coloured card and then cutting those waffle cone lines from the craft card that I'm often using. The craft card is from Hobbycraft, if anyone is wondering. I'm using the same one for the lollipop sticks as well. Gluing those all together with my 𝓤𝓲𝓬𝓲. I really do rate this glue actually. I like this one and I like the Belly Arts one. Those two seem to get the job done well. Popping those lines onto the cone, give it a little bit of detail. And then magically I've done all 4 and it's time to cut out the ice cream scoop. I decide to use the smaller scoop. So this can be a shaker. I don't think I make them all shakers. I filmed this a while ago and I'm just getting around to voiceovering, so you'll have to excuse me. I'm not 100% sure what's going on. So yep, there we go. Just using the ice cream scoop. Cutting it out of this lovely sort of coral paper. So this is a Craftsmith paper pad. This one is from 𝓷𝓸𝓬𝓪. It's the, I think it is called Pinks and Corals. There we go, popping that on there with some wet glue. I do flip this over and add some washi tape onto the back as well, just to make sure it's not going anywhere. And then I double side this. I don't really think this step was necessary looking back, because you would probably stick this onto something else, onto another project, but it makes it look smart, I guess. So popping that on there. And then I think about adding the inside of that scoop on the front there, but I don't think I do in the end. Layered those two up, so I did pull them apart earlier to use them on their own. And now I'm just layering them up to make the shaker piece, using some washi tape to hold the 2 metal pieces in place. Having to cut around the edge of this one. I probably should have added the little plastic, the little plastic, is it called a shim? Makes the folder thicker, makes it cut through better. Also cutting my acetate. I always have to go around this with scissors. Acetate just does not like to cut in that machine. But it gives you a nice outline to cut around at least. So I've done that, added some glue onto my shaker edge, pop that on top of the acetate, and then I'm pulling out my secret weapon. So these foam strips are game changers. I got these ones from Amazon. The lovely Cheryl suggested these to me. And I literally just follow the shape, the outline of the shape, the whole way around, and it gives you the perfect spot for all of your shaker goodies. The shaker bits I'm using today are from Buttons Galore. I am on their design team, so I have a code for you. If you use Emma10, you will get 10% off of your purchase. I also have a link in the description to Buttons Galore. I would really appreciate it if you could use the link. It is an affiliate one. It doesn't cost you anything different, but it makes a difference to the channel and I really appreciate it. Adding some neutral sequins to the mix to make it stretch a bit further. This is my favourite thing to do. I like to add some clear sequins or some ones that sort of match the mix that's already made, and that way I get it to stretch a bit further, last a bit longer. Popping that on the front. And then we have our first little shaker ice cream. You can see that I've already cut out all of the other pieces. So for the cherries, I'm just using a piece of craft card, then a green version on top, and then pink just on the bottom there for the actual cherry. I have also cut out 4 of those lollipop shakers, and I'm making a little mix with some more Temu goodies. Those little white sprinkles and the swirls are so pretty. Loads of sequins from my stash, all of the prettiest colours. And then I'm just going to pop those into some of the lollipops. Making sequin mixes has to be one of my favourite things, and I really love to make too much so that I can keep some in a little container for another project. I always have a use for a sequin mix. And these ones come together pretty similarly to the ice creams. So again, I'm just using my foam tape strips. In fact, if you'd like a link to those, please do leave me a comment and I will grab the link for you. Same for if you'd like a link to anything else that you've seen me using today. This beautiful glitter cardstock is from eBay. I've used this for a bunch of these lollipops, and I'm just adding my acetate window in here. More of those foam tape strips all around the edge, and adding that lollipop stick onto the front. I always use wet glue when I'm using glitter card. I just don't trust any other adhesive really. I'm sure hot glue would be okay, but wet glue is best for this one. Foam strip time, so adding that all around the edge. I really love how thin these are. They work perfect for these shakers. Snipping off the excess, adding in some of that sequin mix that we just made, and then putting that background piece on, so I go for pink for this one. I do add some foam tape on the back here for the lollipop stick, just so that it will all be on one level when I'm finished. So when I turn it round, it looks all chunky and like it's all at one level, which I really like. And by magic, I've done all 4 of them. I'm adding some stitching to the ice creams. So for 2 of them, I've just gone around the edge of the cone. And then for the other 2, I've stitched all along those waffle line details. And I am going to cover the back of those with another piece of card. I just think the stitching looks a bit messy on those, so I've covered that up. Exactly the same as before. Acetate window in first. There we go. More of those foam tape strips. And then I actually make a mistake on this one. So I cut out my favourite cherry paper and then realised if I want the cherry paper to show in the shaker window, I need to cut it out back to front. So I do actually go back and fix that. You'll see me mess that up in a minute and have to recut the piece. But that paper is so pretty. It is Here and Now by 𝓷𝓸𝓽𝓮, I believe. And I have so much of that collection. It was like a really fun summer one that came out, I think a couple of years ago now. There we go, that's my favourite paper, the one with the cherries on it. And here's me cutting it out the wrong way. I'll work that out momentarily, but for now, here are some pretty sequins. This is a mix that I made a while back, and like I said, I've kept some in little containers, which is my favourite thing to do. And this matches these little embellishments perfectly. So I'm not actually sure what I'm going to use these embellishments for yet. I think they would make fun cards for the front of a card. I think they would make pretty bag toppers or something like that. But if you have any project ideas, please do let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll give one of them a go. Adding the cone onto the back of this, same as before. Popping that on there. Want it a bit higher up. There we go, and then having some sellotape on the back there, just to make sure it's definitely going to stay in place. I add some foam tape on the back of this one. I'm not sure why I wanted this one to be much chunkier than the others, but apparently at the time I did, so I've added some foam tape on the back. Again, I'm going to go all the way around the top. For the shape, it's easy to bend to shape, this foam tape, which is one of my favourite things. There we go, so adding the back of the cone, going all around the top of the scoop, and then I'll add another piece on the back here as well in a moment. I hope you have enjoyed hanging out and seeing me put all of these together. If there are any other dies that you've seen in my hauls and you'd like to see them all assembled, please do let me know. Leave me a comment on the video and I can definitely try and make some more like this for you. So here is one of my sparkly shaker ice creams, and here they are all together. Thanks so much for hanging out and crafting, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!